Zat Hashem, today we're starting in Pirkei Avot, Perek Vav, Mishnah Tet. I think this is one of my favorite Mishnayot in the entire Masechta. Mishnah Tet. We've learned this Mishnah before, but we're going to go through it. Let's go through the simple pshat, and then let's see perhaps if there's a little more deeper than face value. The Mishnah tells us, Amar Reb Yose ben Kisma, says Reb Yose ben Kisma. Now, Reb Yose ben Kisma was one of the great rabbis in his generation, and he said the following: Pa'am achat, one time, I was going on the way. So he told us the first-hand account. One time I was traveling on the way, upaga bi adam echad, and a certain person bumped into me. V'natan li shalom, echzarti lo shalom. He said hello to me, and I said hello back to him. The Mefarshim speak out that he didn't say hello first because he didn't see this guy first. But actually, we know that when you see somebody, you're supposed to say hello. So that's why it says paga bi adam echad. Meaning he bumped into me, I didn't realize that he was there. Had I realized, I would have said hello first. Amar li, this person said to me, Rabbi, me'eze makom ata? Where are you from? He said to me, Rabbi. The Mefarshim say, obviously this Rabbi Yose ben Kisma was dressed in a way that he looked like a Rav. He looked like a rabbi. So this fellow said to him, where are you from? So the Mefarshim speak out. It looked like he was not financially necessarily supported. He looked like he was a little poor. So this fellow who saw him was able to deduce that he didn't have money, but he was a rabbi. And he said, where are you from? Amarti lo. So I said back to him, Me'ir gdola shel chachamim v'shel sofrim ani. I am from a great city of scholars and scribes. Great city of Talmidei Chachamim. So we don't have a lot of money, it's true, but we have Talmidei Chachamim. Those are the people that I live with in my city. So Amar li, this fellow said back to me, says Rabbi Yose ben Kisma, Rabbi, Rebbe, Ritzonach shetador imanu b'mkomenu, would you like to live with us in our place? Would you like to live with us in our place? V'ani'eten lach elef alafim dinrei zahav, and I'll give you thousands and thousands of golden coins, va'avanim tovot umargaliot, and good stones and jewels and pearls. I'll give you all kinds of riches. So this fellow said to me, said Rabbi Yose ben Kisma, you look like you're struggling financially. The rabbinate doesn't pay well. But in my city, come live with us. If you'll come live with us, I'll pay you great salary. Whatever you want. Everything you want. Now, at face value, why does he want him to come live in his city? Why does this guy, he's recruiting this rabbi, why is he recruiting him? What does he want him for?
He wants him to teach him, to be like him.
So
to share his wisdom.
So you could say at face value, he just wants him to move to their town, but then that's the whole point of this conversation. What's the Mishnah going to teach us? So it seems like this guy was telling this rabbi, Rabbi Yose ben Kisma, come be the rabbi in our town. That's what it sounds like he's telling him. So this seems like a pretty good offer. You come from a city full of Talmidei Chachamim. Come live in our city and teach us Torah, and we'll pay you the big salary that you need, that you want. Now, how would you say he should respond? Seems like a pretty good deal. Amarti lo. So Yose ben Kisma said, I said back to this guy, to the requester, Bini, my son, if you give me all the silver and gold, all of the precious stones and jewels and pearls in the world, you give me all of that, I'm only going to live in a place of Torah. All the money you want to give me, no thank you. I'm only going to live in a place of Torah. And he's going to go on to explain the importance of living and learning, living in a place of Torah, learning Torah, and let's continue on. But let's just keep this in mind. It seems like that fellow was asking, come be the rabbi, come direct the people, teach them Torah. And what's his response? Even if you give me all the money in the world, I only want to stay in a place of Torah. And the Mishnah now tells us, he continues to explain, why is that so important? Because at the time a person is niftar, he passes away, ein melavin lo la'adam, Nothing accompanies a person. Lo kesef, lo zahav, lo avanim tovot umargaliot. None of those riches, none of that wealth accompanies a person. Ela Torah umasim tovim bilvad. The only thing that accompanies a person, we've spoken about this many times, is the Torah that he studied and the good deeds that he did, the mitzvot that he did. Shneimar, like the pasuk tells us in Mishlei, V'yitalechecha tancheh otach, it says, when you go, it will guide you. V'shoch b'cha tishmor alecha, when you sleep, you lie down, it will guard you. V'akitzot ta'ite sichecha, and when you get up, it will be your discussion, your conversation. Each part of this pasuk refers to a different point in a person's, I say life, but really it means in his entire life, in his real life. When it says, when you go, it will guide you, what does that mean? It means in this world. It means a person who studies Torah, the Torah acts as his guide. It is Eitz Chaim l'machazikim ba. It acts as his tree of life, of wisdom in this world. It guides you. What does it mean when you lie down, it will guard you? Bakever. So that means lie down is it's a euphemism, it's a figurative language. When you lie down in the grave, the Torah you studied will guard you, will safeguard you. And when you get up, you wake up, what is that referring to? It will be your topic of discussion. La'olam haba, it means in the next world. The Gemara tells us, at the end of Masechet Brachot, that for tzaddikim, Talmidei Chachamim, in Olam Haba, they still don't rest because they're so busy learning Torah, they're so busy engaging in the Chokhmah of Hashem, they don't get rest even in the next world. Ein lehem menucha. V'chein katuv b'sefer Tehillim al yedei David Melech Yisrael, and it says in Tehillim, Tov li Torat picha me'al peizav ha'kesef. The Torah of your mouth is greater than thousands of gold and silver. So I don't want your Torah, I don't want your money, I'll keep my Torah. And finally in Chagai, the pasuk tells us, Liya kesef, Liya za'av ne'um Hashem. Svakot. Hashem says, I have the silver, I have the gold, says Hashem of legions. And what does that mean? Meaning that if Hashem wants me to get money, Hashem could provide me with money as He sees fit. But win the lottery, exactly. I don't need your money, said Rabbi Yose ben Kisma, because if Hashem wants to give it to me, He's going to give it to me. All right, so let's speak out what this Mishnah tells us. He just says, yeah, we're going to do a quick recap in a minute, but the last part, what he just said was, I value Torah so much because I know that's the only thing that's important. In this world, when I pass away, after an Olam Haba, I don't need your money. So B'kitzur, what the Mishnah here is telling us is, this fellow, Rabbi Yose ben Kisma, was walking. Someone bumped into him and said, look, in your city you're getting paid nothing. You're getting paid not much. You come to our city, and the way we explained it is, come be the rabbi in our city. Come teach us. Some of the Mefarshim speak out, that's what he was saying. And we'll pay you the biggest salary you could imagine. He says, no thank you, I don't need your money. Eini dar ele b'mkom Torah. I only want to live in a place of Torah, so don't give me your money. I'd rather stay where I am. And he goes on to explain why Torah is so important in this world, after death, in the next world, etc. So we look at this Mishnah and we say to ourselves, what's going on exactly? What's the difficulty, Eliezer? What would you say is the difficulty on this Mishnah?
He's being selfish a little bit because he has to share the Torah with the people that is not up to his level. So I think that's difficult for me, thinking that...
You're saying it's selfish that he's not going to spread the Torah.
Correct.
But I'll say even more than that. It's not just selfish. We learned that part of Torah, part of the process of Torah, l'mod u'lelamed, is learning. It's one of the 48 ways to acquire Torah. We had it a few Mishnayot ago. Is learning on condition to teach. What do you mean you're only going to live in a place of Torah? Part of the acquisition of Torah, part of the process of Torah is learning on condition to teach. So what are you saying? Eini dar b'mkom ele b'mkom Torah. You learn Torah, part of your responsibility, part of the process of really understanding it is to go teach it. So why are you refusing to go to the place that you could go and teach Torah? That seems to be part of the job, part of the process.
You want to go teach or what?
That's what it seems like.
Why?
Good question.
No, the Mishnah says that someone met this big rabbi and said, come to our town, I will give you all the money in the world. And he says, no, because you don't have a place of Torah.
What's the pshat? Not just selfish. That's part and parcel of being a ben Torah, being a Talmid Chacham, is to teach.
He wasn't teaching whatever he was.
Maybe he was. It's true.
But why should they live and
Or maybe he could teach more people.
Maybe not. Maybe
Okay.
go there and those old bars that don't listen.
I want to tell you a chidush. This is a chidush I said 2 years ago, I think it was, but I think it comes out beautifully in the Mishnah. If this guy would have approached Rav Yose ben Kisma, and he would have said, look, we have people that are Amei Aretz, people don't know Torah. Can you come to our city and teach us Torah? If he would have just said that, I suspect Rav Yose ben Kisma would have said, fine, I will come. You're asking me to teach Torah. You're coming in a way that you're showing you really value Torah. You really want to hear what I'll teach you. You listen to my psak. You listen to my direction. I will come and teach you Torah. But that's not what this guy said. This guy approached him and said, come live in our city, and I'm going to pay you millions and millions of dollars in salary. Now listen to this. What's the problem? The problem is that what this guy is essentially saying, come live in our city, we need a rabbi. Now we need a rabbi, but we want a rabbi that we're going to pay millions and millions of dollars to. Now what does that mean? Listen to this chidush. We want a rabbi that we're going to control. We want you to come to our town and pay you millions of dollars so that we have a rabbi and it validates our shul, it validates our school, it validates our town, but we want to pay you so that you're in our pocket. So what does it mean? Oh, yes. So what are they really saying? We want you to teach us, but how we want you to teach us. We want you to paskin for us, but how we want you to paskin for us. We don't want to learn the Torah. If he would have just come and said, look, we want a rabbi to come teach in our town. We'll talk about salary later, no problem. He would have said, sure, I'm going to come. You're going to listen to what I have to say. You're going to listen to psak and direction and guidance, of course. But if you're telling me that you want to pay, that means you want to control, essentially. I can't do my job. If I can't do my job, forget it. Like Yosef just said, I'd rather stay in my town and teach in the local yeshiva, not teach in the local, where they really listen to what I have to say, and the opposite. Because they're not paying me much, they actually don't have much control over me, and actually, like I see fit, the emet of the Torah, what the Torah really is, I'm able to teach it appropriately.
Why, you can't make $1 million and teach Torah the way
So I think there's a big lesson here. It's a very, very big lesson. Very often,
they don't pay you a lot of money, you know?
So very often is the problem. This is the problem. Here's the catch-22. You want to hear the catch-22 here? Mm-hmm. On one hand, Torah scholars, Talmidei Chachamim, and rabbis, they don't get paid very much very often. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then they're struggling to make ends meet. Okay. So they have to figure it out. Work in a camp in the summer, tutor on the side, hustle here and there, pseudo. Figure it out. Okay. But in that regard, they're at least not so contingent on their employers in a certain degree, because you're not paying me much anyways.
Right.
If you stop paying me, I'll get another tutoring job. It's not like you're paying me millions of dollars. So to a certain degree, the not paying so much money actually works in their favor, that I could spread Torah as is appropriate. And I'm not controlled by my constituents or my congregation members in terms of saying what I need to say.
Here, because in community rabbis, they get paid well, so
But
on
the other hand, the problem is if somebody's paid a lot of money and he needs, and I guess he has more bills and he has more things to pay for, etc., now he's a little bit controlled by the tzibur, and this creates a little bit of an issue. Because now, if he needs to teach the halakha because he sees something wrong in his shul, he could become nervous if I say this is the halakha, and this is the halakha, and I see people are being poretz geder, they're breaching the halakha. I'm nervous now to say something because if I do, they'll throw me out and get a new rabbi, and then I can't pay my bills. So there's a catch-22 here is that he needs to take a salary, but at the same time, taking that salary can cause his inability to be effective in the job that he's really trying to do. So the good ones are able to play this balancing act.
That's a bad news saying it like this.
Others have salary from an outside place, so they're not contingent on the tzibur, which also could work, by the way. You have investments to figure it out.
I do know, for example, in the community they pay very good their rabbis.
Yeah.
And they allow him to.
Okay, halavai, they allow him to be a rabbi, but the halavai. But the point is that this creates a catch-22. So what's the solution? Maybe you get salary from outside. You create some investments. You have real estates. You have investments, properties, etc. So you're not contingent on the tzibur. Because if you're not contingent on them for salary, then you could do what you need to do.
I don't think
And
if
that's
you pay a rabbi a nice salary, you have him in your pocket.
Right.
You're going to say the same halachot, but
Halavai,
if you're
it was
already
true.
doing it, change the halachot because of the payim, then he's not a rabbi.
Oh, halavai, what you're saying would be true.
Sure, I think that's it is.
You hope it's true. We're going to
Why
stop
you think
here.
a rabbi that get a lot of
I
money,
think, unfortunately,
he go-
very often there is a pressure that exists. You're paying me, now you control me. And I think, unfortunately, this does
I don't know,
exist.
man.
Listen, halavai, it wasn't that way
God
in the world.
forbid, if that's going to be the rabbi nowadays, man.
Rabbis, you know how they do it now? Or like, I think that they have the, I'm not saying here, in Colombia, I'm saying they have a community, they have a board,
Right.
so they basically check and balance, you know?
And one person doesn't have
Yeah,
control.
yeah,
Very
exactly.
good. Okay, we'll pick up tomorrow. Mishnah Yud. Everyone have a wonderful day.